Hello folks, well it's not a watch video today, tonight, with hand on heart, and everything else. I have resigned from the Labour Party. I no longer wish to be a part of them. I will not be bitten again, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the end for me and that party, and I will find other. And this is all about the way, again, Labour have swept away a very real truth in favour of a false narrative given to the world regarding Israel. Now, for many years it has been known and has been documented and it's been well looked into, even on American TV news shows and stuff like that. That collaboration between Israel, the IDF and American police forces has been going on for about 20 years. Now, part of that, should we say, training is, amongst it all, is a very shady kind of company that trains American police officers to desensitise and to brutalise their daily goings. And what they do is they have a rifle range, and it's all live fire and everything, and they have to navigate through the rifle range, and up will pop pictures. It's like the ETA range down at in Essex and stuff like that, but it's a bit more involved than that. And these police officers would be trained, and are being trained even right now, to shoot at targets of children holding guns, nuns holding guns, priests, pregnant women holding babies, and and everything, the things that you really wouldn't want. And they are literally taught to shoot first, shoot instantly, we'll cover it up later. And that is what happened to that woman in Washington, where she took the wrong turn, realised that she's up against a security cordon at the White House, and they just killed her in front of her kiddie. Because that's it. Everybody's got a gun in America. Everybody's going to kill the police in America and stuff like that. It is really, really bad. And this is what we're seeing every day in videos from America of out of control police officers who have been given this indoctrination that teaches them that non-compliance, just as the Israelis do, equals death. Comply or die, obey or die. And the last time we saw any of this going on was with the bloody Nazis, because that's exactly what they used to do. And if you think about it, America was the one country that took in, other than the rocket scientists that Russia and Britain were trying to get hold of, but under the expanded Operation Paperclip, they took in tens of thousands of Nazis that were not scientists. They were party card carriers, and there was, the deputy director of NASA was a Nazi, and Karl Rove, Bush's best mate, his father was an SS Gauleiter. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's a big man. His father was in bloody Nazi realm and stuff like that. They're absolutely obsessed with it over there, and they keep making, apologies for it. And that's what's happening in America. It's obey or die, or you will die. And no unarmed person should ever be shot by a police officer. A person with a knife or bludgeon should not be shot by a police officer. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, brown, yellow, alien green, or whatever. The fact is that with this qualified immunity, the police know that they can shoot you and get away with it, because on the best of their interest, the best of their knowledge, they thought that person had a gun. And this is after they've searched them and they know they haven't got a gun. And what's happened is somebody's resisted or something, and bang, 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 you're dead. And that's what we saw with the recent video with that bloke. He got away, he grabbed hold of, he pulled on the cable of the taser, which the bloke let go of, and he just ran. And they shot him in the back 3 times. Now, isn't that disgusting? An unarmed person shot in the back. And that is what the Israelis export as a form of training to the rest of the world. And you watch, there'll be plenty of people complaining about this. Like, well, I don't really care because, like, you know, I mean, I don't have a problem with Jewish people, right? But I do have a problem with the Israeli people. You know, and all the time that they're murdering like women and babies and stuff like that, then I do have a problem with that. And I have a problem in my country when people like Keir Starmer are standing up and protecting those maggots of what they're doing. They are murdering every day women, men, children, elderly, unarmed civilians. And they are training the American police, and they have been seen at work here in the UK with the British armed police. And that is disgusting. So what happened was Rebecca Long Bailey, she, what she did was she brought this up. And of course, like as soon as she'd done that, the Jewish lobby within Labour went absolutely nuts and forced Keir Starmer to sack Rebecca Long Bailey. For what? For telling the truth. You know, the collaboration between American and Israeli police is long well documented, like, you know. And this is what brings me up to Ken Livingstone, another one who was sacrificed on the altar of Zionism, like, because he spoke of a very inconvenient truth. And that was the collaboration between the Nazis, the SS, especially with Himmler, right, the German Zionist Federation, and the Stern terrorist gang. Right? And like the Stern gang, like I mean, their depravity made even like the SS sick, and that shows you how bad they were. And it's because they cocked up like a long-term negotiation that they'd been working with. Like they actually killed a British envoy, which, like, you know, was marked for, like, you know, doing some business with with the Nazis, like, you know, for a future, like, you know, kind of like peace thing. And they just blew him up and killed him or something like that, like, you know. And Himmler said, right, that's it, I've had enough, right, they can all go. So they outlawed the German Zionist Federation, and they outlawed Stern gang in the Nazi sphere. Right, Stern went back to like Israel, like, you know, with his tail between his legs, like, you know, started attacking again British soldiers and stuff, like, you know. And I mean, some of the things that the Stern were promising, they said if Himmler gave them money, weapons, and resources, that they would infiltrate Britain and start committing terrorist acts on British soil by blowing up schools, hospitals, army depots, train stations and stuff like that. And the Nazis turned around, and I will say fair play to them, they turned around and said no. Because what would happen then is then the British and Americans would then retaliate by doing the same thing back in Germany. And Stern didn't like it. So that was the falling out between Stern and the SS. The German Zionist Federation, they were kind of like there to plunder like the misery of the Jews. Like, they were supposed to be speaking for the Jews, but like in reality, what they were doing is they were actually saying to the Nazis, right, here's all these people that got money and property and stuff like that, and they were supposed to have been given equal of their money and property in Palestinian scrip. Well, unfortunately, at that time, Palestine was run by the British, and like, you know, the British didn't say, they said, well, that's nothing to do with us, like, you know, you can sod off with your bits of paper. Like, you know, and so all these Jews, they were completely rinsed of everything. You know, their like posh houses, like, you know, their gold and I mean, they couldn't leave Germany without a thing of value apart from their clothes. And they were taken over to Palestine with these clutching these bits of paper, and the British turned around and said, sorry. And the Israelis, after 1948, when these people turned to them and said, well, we've got these pieces of paper, like, you know, like saying we're owed land, money and all the rest of it, and the Israelis went, sorry. And, like, you know, like, they were absolutely turned over. You know, and those people never ever voted for the people that are running Israel, like, you know, because they realised that they'd been ripped off royally. Like, but the thing is, you've got to say, they did have their lives. You know, you can always start again, and so what they did. You know, but like, you know, they became part of the left-wing clique of Israel, like, you know, as the opposition to the very, very right-wing part, you know. And I mean, Israel is run by a bunch of pretend Jews, right? They're Ashkenazi Jews, right? They are Eastern European converts that have about as much Jewish blood in them as one of my cats. Right? They have never, you know, they never ever came from the tribes. You know, they were converts. And it's those people that went to Israel. They wanted Israel to be formed, you know, and they're the ones that are running Israel now. Netanyahu is an Ashkenazi. Like, I mean, Olmert, he was an Ashkenazi. I mean, you know, they aren't, you know, they are there telling the real people that have descended down the generations, like, you know, we're better than you know, and like, they're rabid. I mean, Ariel Sharon, an absolute monster. I mean, and he learned a lot from the Nazis, like, you know, and through, like, you know, what was going on with Stern and that, you know. And what his little favourite trick was to go to a Palestinian village, right? And you can go Google this up, right? And I said, I ain't spreading like myths or something, like, you know. And he used to get the whole village rounded up and put into the local mosque, right? It would be boarded up. Right, the legs of the men would be broken so they couldn't get out, and then you'd get artillery or airstrikes, flatten the whole place, flat, and everybody died in, like, you know, the resulting conflagration. Like, you know, that was Ariel Sharon's, like, you know, specialty. That was, he killed thousands of Palestinians, and everybody's going around when he died, oh, he's such a hero. No, he's like John McCain, like, you know, a bloody monster, because, you know, I mean, John McCain, he was dropping bombs on Vietnamese schools, like, you know, and he got medals for it. That ain't a hero in my bloody book, you know, but I digress. So, give it a couple of seconds. I'll pause this here for a second, like, you know, and then you can have a look, see what I actually sent to Labour, like, you know, and I've cancelled it on my direct debits and everything. They can go and, you know, they can go and bite me on it, like, you know. In fact, like, oh, wait a minute, where is he gone? Well, so much stuff here. I don't know where I put it. Where is it? Where's my wallet gone? It's not like me to lose me bloody wallet. Oh, bloody hell. No, it ain't there. If I've lost that, I am really screwed. Well, I'm more screwed than normally anyway, but still. Where did I bloody put that? Let me pause that and I'll be back with you in a sec. Right, back again, crisis averted, and I'll calm down a bit. I was getting a bit cross there. So, Mr. Karma. There we go. Oh, bloody laminated shit. Give me a second. We shall do this proper. Well, that's about as far as I'm going to go with that. And that is what I think of your bloody Labour Party, Keir Starmer. I've had enough of it. I left Labour because of Tony Blair and the lies. I left Labour because you wouldn't deal with Tony. Nobody would deal with Tony Blair, and you were still a senior member during the post-Tony Blair years. You know, he ruined this country. All you've done is you succumbed to, like, you know, you've knelt at the twisted altar of Zionism, you know, because any criticism of Israel is considered anti-Semitism. It is not. Anti-Semitism is hatred of Jews. I don't stand for anti-Semitism at all. I do not hate Jews. I don't really bother about it. So I'm a humanist, so it doesn't bother me, like, you know. But what I do object to is that we are giving help and succour to a country that is bombing, killing and treating abject misery unarmed people every day. Israel gets its bombs, it gets its guns, it gets its intelligence, it gets its support, it gets everything because people like you, Keir Starmer, kneel at the twisted altar of Zionism. And you need to take a step back. Belgium is at the point of unilaterally sanctioning Israel over its annexation and its treatment of the Palestinians. It is not alone. And this is where you can show leadership and actually become a force for change, or you can just become, you know, as it was once said, part of Project Thatcher, like, you know, where the Tories are controlling Labour, right, you know, and you both become the chiefs, the two chiefs of the one arse, right, you know. And I can tell you something, like, you know, I really, really, really regret voting for you. I wanted to vote for Miss Bailey, right, you know, but I thought, no, you would give the better like option, but not anymore. As far as I'm concerned, me and Labour are finished. Like, you know, it finished with Corbyn. You know, he was the last chance for this country to turn things around and make things a bit better for people. And look what you've done with it. All you do is you roll over wherever the Tories say boo. Like, you've let Boris Johnson get away with absolute everything, and this is what happens, you know. And we're going to have another 5 years of bloody Boris or whoever, like, you know, some faceless freak, like, you know, he's just like, you know, going to rip the hell out of everybody whilst making millions, you know. Where were you, Keir Starmer, like, you know, when people were like going, oh yeah, this clap for the NHS, but let's not pay the NHS, let's not pay the nurses' wages or give them a decent wage to live by, make it again a career to aspire to. Where were you, Keir Starmer? You know, because, you know, and I mean, you're a South Londoner, and like, you know, like myself, and like, you know, you've been through it. I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, like, you know, you're a traitor to your class, you're a traitor to your cause, you know, and all you've become is another faceless, spineless, bollockless, face of the establishment, you know, and you can go away. Anyway, rant done. Like I say, I'm going to reiterate it here again. I am not a Jew hater. I don't hate Jews. I don't hate Muslims. I don't hate Hindus or Buddhists or anybody else, like, you know. I don't see colour. I don't see creed. I don't see religion or faith or anything like that. I pay respect to it if that's what people want, but I'm not going to get on my knees to it, as far as I'm concerned. If people say to me, oh, I'm a Muslim, I say, oh, that's nice for you. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my God, what shall I do for you? Like, you know, like, I'll bend over the barrel and you can take me up the arsehole. You know, I don't do that with religions, and I don't do that with, like, classes. I mean, if I saw the Queen tomorrow, I would not speak with her with any more reverence than I'll speak to one of my cats, because she is another human being as equal in body and everything else as I am. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm as good as her, she's as good as me. You know, and like, it's the same with all those stupid yank bloody presidents like Trump who think they're better than everybody. Well, they're not. You know, they still shit in the bog and they still bleed red. I mean, you know, if you breed a European with a Jewish person, you still get a child, a healthy child. If you breed, like, you know, an African with an Asian person, you still get a child, a healthy child. That is what humanism is all about. As far as I'm concerned, like, you know, like Keir Starmer, all the time that you're leader of the Labour Party, like, you know, you're just going to turn into another pink Tory if you haven't, because you haven't dealt with the the fake Labour people. Like, you haven't dealt with Margaret Hodge, who's an absolute monster. I mean, 33 of Britain's wanted paedophiles got away on her watch. Like, the one of Britain's worst care scandals was on her watch. Like, the education of thousands of Islington children was ruined on her watch, and she used to stand on Islington Town Hall steps screaming and screeching with this bust of Lenin with a Soviet flag flying from Islington Town Hall, right, screeching for the Soviets to invade us, right, and kill all the police, kill all the armed forces, get rid of the bourgeoisie establishment, right, they've all got to die, and turn us into a Soviet paradise. And look at her now. She says, you can't touch me because I'm Jewish. I spit on you because you're not, but you can't touch me because I'm Jewish. And I don't think that's right either, because that woman should have been had her head put under a bus wheel years ago. You know, she's an absolute monster. And as far as and what was the way, like, New Labour, like, said to the British people, here's how we reward you. They made her, was it overseer of, like, one of the, well, like, Britain's worst care scandals. They made her the first children's commissioner, and she loved it. Because I've done no wrong, I'm Jewish. I've done no wrong because you can't touch me. And, you know, and she, because, you know, I mean, how dare you? Like, you know, she was the one that made sure that all the social workers got so many more powers, you know, because she doesn't, she is an actual Stalinist. She really is. She's like Theresa May as well. Theresa May is a Stalinist. They believe in absolute state control from top to bottom. The state can do no wrong. The people can do no right, and as long as you, like, keep yourself out of the way of people, then the state won't have a word with you. But if their eye falls on you, that big Sauron's eye of, like, you know, Tory HQ or whatever, you're going to get it, and you're going to get it hard. And, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm absolutely fuming, like, you know. I mean, I've been a lifelong Labour supporter. I used to have to hide when I was in, like, you know, being a skinhead and scoop boys. I had to hide that I was a Labour supporter, like, you know, because, you know, you'd get shouted at, like, you know, bloody communist, like, stuff like that. But, like, you know, no longer. And as I am a socialist, I do believe that, you know, we should have things like welfare. We should have housing for poorer people. Like, you know, we should have a mix of socialism and a mix of capitalism. That's how Britain prospered. That's how Britain thrived. Anyway, I'll leave that there. I am no longer a member of the Labour Party. I've resigned it all. I have gone away from it. And as far as I'm concerned, they can bite me, you know. They're not going to end, like, you know, fall over, like, you know, prostrating themselves, like, you know, in sorrow at my thing. But the thing is that I have voted with my conscience, like, and I am not going to allow, you know, again, another Blair. As far as I'm concerned, like, there has got to be a better alternative. And I am watching what Jeremy Corbyn does. I am still a member of Momentum. But, you know, I'm no longer a member of Labour. And I will stay down. I mean, I'm too old really to do much of the Momentum stuff, but I do like what they stand for. You know, and that was just fairness, equality and honesty. That's all they ever stood for. It's what Jeremy Corbyn ever stood for. And Britain missed out on possibly the most honest man in parliamentary history. Because that man has never ever taken a dodgy fiver in his life. He has never sold out his values. He has always spoken peace. He has always spoken as a statesman. You know, he brokered peace between Britain and the IRA, and then we ended up with the Good Friday Agreement. That was down to Jeremy Corbyn. And yet he's reviled for being an IRA sympathiser. He has never sympathised. He has turned around and said, "Well, hold on a minute. Let's like, you know, let's look at it both ways." Like, you know, he has done that. But that is what an elder statesman does: is they can bring both sides of the argument to the front and look at it and work with it. You know, and of course, like the cheap, like, schoolyard Tories and all that. It's always sympathise. He's never been like that. You know, he was one of the first people to condemn the Aryan Eve bomb. He was like, you know, and he turned around and he said to them, "I can't work with you if you're doing this here in Britain." You know, and he slowly wore them down to actually say, "Look, come to the table, come and talk with London, talk peace." And, like, you know, all you hear now is, like, you know, it's like the Americans are responsible for that. Like, you know, it's nothing to do with that envoy or whatever he was. It was nothing to do with it. The groundwork was Jeremy Corbyn. You know, I mean, when we was boycotting South Africa, like, you know, he was out there outside, like, South African embassy. He'd probably remember me as giving him an hard time a few times, because I used to as a teenager, like, you know, and he was there 24/7 sometimes, like, you know, protesting the barbarity of South Africa, but he can't protest the same barbarity with Israel because he's not allowed to, and that's wrong. Israel is a barbarous country that has no limits or no boundaries and no moral compass. And all the time that the Americans are like protecting Israel, Israel will not change. And that is what needs to happen. Is the big stick needs to be taken away from the area, and then Israel will have to sue for peace, or it will face war from its neighbours. And in that moment, if it does look like it's going to be war, Iran will buy a load of nuclear weapons from President Putin, and it will even up the scale. But all the time that the Americans are the big stick out there, then the Iranians won't. But, you know, I mean, it would be down to Israel how the ME became a nuclear state. Right, I'm going to leave that there. I am absolutely furious, as I said. So, but, like, you know, do take care, you know. Vote with your conscience. Like, you know, I am like Jeremy Corbyn. Like, there are certain things that I will not sell, throw or squander. And when somebody who's supposed to be in charge of Labour starts, you know, protecting the liars, that's it. So, you know, big love. You know, I'm just not going to do it anymore. So, there you go. So, be safe, be sensible. Like, you know, watch out for, like, you know, people's rampant armpits and, like, you know, and toe cheese, like, you know, and, you know, I'm still waiting for the story about, like, you know, how, like, blokes who don't wash their willies are causing COVID or something, like, you know, the old cheese down under the helmet sort of thing is what's causing it all. But I don't care, because I'm no longer a Labour Party, as you can see. I've cut up my card. I have cancelled my direct debit and my running donations, and as far as I'm concerned, the movement can go on without me. Take care.